Milton Williams finishes off that game yesterday in Miami. Patriots stand at 1-1. Mazz, Murray, how you guys doing?
Very good. Hello.
What are your thoughts?
Murray, go.
I say this without any tone, snark, or hyperbole. I think that's one of the most important wins for the New England Patriots post-Tom Brady. There hasn't been many, but that's one of them to me. And here's why. The most important reason, the quarterback, who I think has looked questionable at best since they drafted him. Couple of wow moments, that's it. He had his best game as a pro. He was comfortable. He was sharp. He was confident. He gives you hope. Like, that's finally, it was like a full game. Whistle to whistle. All right, great. They won in a place they never win at in Miami, where they're constantly getting boned by some kind of wacky play. And even if it looks like they're going to win, something happens, all of a sudden it's another loss. It's how it's been for how many years now? For pretty much like even during the glory days. So I think it's a type of win that can potentially put wind in their sails. And I definitely think it gets more buy-in from the team, for Mike Vrabel as the new head coach. Does this mean they're going to be a playoff team? Probably not. Who the hell knows? But I do believe it'll mean they'll stop sucking, and that's all I can ask for right now. I said on Friday, I don't care if you won 6-3. I don't care if you had to run Drake Maye 50 times to win. Just win the effing thing. Put an illegal weapon down your shorts. Use it against Miami. I don't care. Just walk out of there with a win. They did. I'm happy about it.
So the big thing, as Murray said, is the offense, right? Overall, both the quarterback and the way of the play calling, all of that. McDaniels as well, the integration of the two. That was the big thing because they looked like a functional offense. Functional. I don't know that I would say explosive, but minus the penalties, they didn't turn the ball over. They completed a high percentage of their throws. They ran for a good average. Overall, offensively, to me, that was the most important thing that happened in that game. Now, set aside the fact that it was two really loose teams. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
Particularly on the defensive side of the ball. What did they combine for in the game? 22 penalties? And you know, there were blown coverages and mistakes all over the place in that game. I thought they showed some good resiliency. There were a couple of times, even in the, in the micro, they got behind the sticks a few times. And in past years, if that happened, they were done. They'd end up having a punt. And they were able to sort of fight their way through some of those. One of them took 4 downs early in the game. There was another one in which the Dolphins committed a stupid penalty. But nonetheless, there were others in which the Patriots kind of grinded their way out of those 2nd and 13s or 3rd and 11 or whatever it was. And so, and obviously you give up a huge punt return and answer on the very next play. So I thought they did a good job hanging in there. When they fight back and they compete, it suggests to me there's some buy-in, and it's early in the year, so I don't know how much credit you can give them just for that. But overall, the biggest thing that was sustainable to me and that was most impressive was the offense, and they hung in there. They hung in there. You can argue they didn't deserve to win the game, but they hung in there and they won it, and good for them.
Did Miami deserve to win the game?
No.
So I think that's why yesterday's a template. I just think there's going to be a lot of weeks like that where that game could have gone either way.
Of course.
Ashawn's foot's in bounds. You lose. Back-to-back kickoff returns. Whatever. Neither deserve to win. Neither deserve to lose. And so you got one. You should be getting your share of those games this year. You shouldn't be. There is no excuse. It's the only thing that I've just been adamant about. There's no excuse to go through a stretch of games against these kind of teams and be 0-4 or 1-3. You should be winning and losing these games.
They're deeply flawed, but can you just be a little less stupid than the opposition than they were yesterday?
Yeah, as Vrabel said, take advantage of bad football. You should be able to get advantage of bad football some of the time. Can I get more often than not? Not every week, but more often than not. Or who's better? What roster has more talent, the Patriots or the Dolphins?
Miami.
The Dolphins.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Especially, I think, with those wide receivers, yes. Yeah, and they have some good, Chubb's a good pass rusher. Yeah, I think right now they have more talent.
I mean, defensively, I
What's
don't know.
their defense?
Okay, so they got Bradley Chubb.
God,
right?
are they soft?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Very soft.
Oh, my God.
They're soft all the way around. I mean, defensively and offensively. They also play they like to play in space.
They're poorly coached and checked out.
Okay, without getting too much in the weeds, I want to say that talent-wise, you and the Dolphins are in the same bucket. You're in the same tier. And the Raiders are in the same tier. I don't know how you feel about the Steelers. They're demonstrably more talented than you. Maybe. The Panthers, no. But I think you're all kind of in the same tier-ish. And so you should be in all these games, and you should be winning some of them. Can I get just winning more than losing?
Absolutely. It's
And then
a legit want.
There's games where you're going to be outgunned, but that, I think, list is going to shrink by the week. It already has. That Bengals game is going to look different.
Sure is.
I think, and it's so there's going to be winnable games. Win some of them. And so that's all I think that was yesterday. Boy, Miami imploded. They had a couple different chances there in the fourth quarter with the ball in their hands around midfield to tie or go ahead, and they just completely imploded. And you let them, and you took advantage of it. That's not a slight on the Patriots. That's the NFL, and that's where they have to start. And yesterday they started. So
yeah, and so much of that is if the opposition's getting false starts, players are coming in late. They look discombobulated. It was a word that Zoe used yesterday. Can you take advantage of it? They did yesterday. They hadn't been doing that, so that's a plus for them.
Definitely.
So the Maye thing was also striking. Clearly more comfortable and stronger from the start. I think he got an assist from the game plan. I do think they changed their game plan. I do think they dumbed it down for him. I think they took things off his plate. I think it was kind of clear. But I'll wait for the real experts to weigh in on the film. But I actually went to the game. And then I watched it again. And the first thing that stands out to me is the under center stuff. Because that's sort of become a thing of mine. Both stylistically, aesthetically. I hate RPOs and I hate college football. And I hate the way it seeped into the pro game. And I hate all these quarterbacks in the shotgun. So that's just aesthetically. But also, it's a tip-off on how you want to play. If you really want to run the ball, you have to be under center.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of teams do gun runs, and these stupid RPOs are out of the gun, obviously. But really, if you really want to run the ball and establish the run, the quarterback has to get his ass under center. And Drake Maye was under center in this game. For the entire game, he was in shotgun only 42% of the time, which feels like a lot, but that was actually the 6th lowest in the league so far, pending tonight's game, okay? Last week, they were in the shotgun 78% of the time, which was the 4th highest. So they went from the 4th highest shotgun percentage to yesterday being the 6th lowest in the shotgun. He was under center. I went back and just double-checked it, especially on those first couple drives when he was getting his rhythm. First and second down, he was under center pretty much the entire quarter. Of the 15 first and second down snaps in the first quarter, he was under center in 13 of the 15 snaps.
Good.
The only time he was in shotgun on second, he was never in shotgun in first down. The only time he was in shotgun on second down in the first quarter was on 2nd and 13 and 2nd and 12. Otherwise, he was under center. Under center. And you know what else they did, Mazz? There's that bootleg stuff.
A lot of it.
I think they ran the West Coast yesterday to start that game. And then I went and checked it. West Coast usually is the zone run versus the gap run. Their zone runs were way up yesterday. In week 1, this is courtesy of Alex Barth, they had 10 gap runs and 4 zone runs. Yesterday it was 9 and 9. So I felt this is what they did for Drake Maye yesterday. They did what Kyle Shanahan would do for one of his scrappy quarterbacks.
Good.
Under center, run, bootleg. Run, get out on the edge. Zone run, bootleg out the other side. Take away half the field. He's not reading at the line of scrimmage. He gets out on the edge, which he's clearly comfortable on. He gets to run. But he gets out there. But he ain't freelancing. There's Hollins on the deep cross in the end zone and then 81 underneath, and he gets to pick one of the two or run. And that's it. And I think that's what they did for him yesterday.
They had him on the move early. They did. They did some of that.
That Hooper throwback, under center bootleg throwback designed. Probably his first read, maybe his only read. That was clearly, a play from the sideline there.
And the other thing you mentioned, the reads, too. The ball was coming out relatively quick. I mean, it was coming out fast for the most part. It was one read, throw it, get rid of it, and move on. And there was a lot of, 6 and 7, 8-yard throws. And the whole game really was like that, except for a few of the bigger plays.
So, we can get into this. That's a question. So, McDaniels said in the offseason that he studied up on some of these other concepts and other things and learned how some of the other guys were coaching offense. So was that Josh McDaniels who went to the drawing board between week 1 and week 2 and said, this is what we're going to do? Or was it the head coach who, when he was in Tennessee, had all West Coast guys, LaFleur, Arthur Smith, had these guys? Was this part of Vrabel saying, this is what we're going to do? There was some back and forth in training camp, right, that they would do the two things. And I don't know. That's a story for another day. It doesn't really matter.
Well, what's your gut tell you, though? I mean, Vrabel has already said, like, I'm more involved with the offense. Yeah, I'm sure. And he'd be right to say, like, hey, we need to switch this up and make the kid more comfortable.
I want to blame Mike for everything and credit him for everything, just to make it simple. Because I've also said from day one, the key to Drake Maye's development is Mike Vrabel. It's not Josh McDaniels. So I want to credit Vrabel when it's right and blame him when it's wrong and keep it real simple. But this is all I know. His ass was under center in this game. And it was run, bootleg to start. And then in the second half, it sort of evened out. But in the first quarter, 13 of 15 first and second down snaps were under center. And the only time he was in the gun was 2nd and 13 and 2nd and 12. And then third down, he was in the gun. Like, it's
almost standard.
Everyone's in the gun. About 3rd and 1, he's in the gun. Like, everyone's in the shotgun in third down. And as the game went on in the second half, it got a little more varied. But I think that's how they established him. And my guess is, and I'll wait for the experts to really weigh in, is that they simplified it. Instead of sitting there in the shotgun, which he was 80% of the time in week 1, looking at the whole field, they said, no. You're gonna run, and then I'm going to bootleg you here, and you got 2 reads, and if not, you're going to run the ball. And I think I don't know. It clearly worked. And
it looked simpler.
And he's clearly comfortable on the run. I'm glad that it's not just freelancing, though. Because people are like, yeah, just let him cook, let him run around back there. Like, no. I prefer not.
There has to be structure to it, otherwise you're Caleb Williams.
Right. I don't, and he's not learning anything anyway, or like, I don't know what you get out of that. So I thought the offense was, and he deserves the most credit. He was composed and ready to go, and
no high throws early in the game, none at all.
Exactly. Yeah, he was decisive, and so he dialed it in too. But I think that's what happened early in that game anyway. But there we go. Okay, off and running, 1-1.
Win!
On the way to 2-2. On the way to a football season. Yes?
On the way to hope. It feels like they came out of that like, okay, there's things to work with here.
The efficiency of that offense yesterday and the combined structure and playmaking of it was reassuring.